In 1956, in the town of Tarascon, France, a young boy named Jacques arrives at a church to meet with Father Noiret for their daily chores. While inside the church, Jacques hears a noise and then a glass breaks. He gets Noiret and they walk toward the altar when suddenly a violent disturbance occurs, causing Father Noiret to be flung into the air and set on fire by a malevolent force, later revealed to be the spirit Valak. Jacques manages to escape before the spirit of Valak descends. Meanwhile, in Italy, Sister Irene, who previously encountered Valak, is now a member of a new coven. She befriends a younger nun, Sister Deborah, who is known for defying the elders' rules. Irene overhears another nun telling the younger sisters about her encounter with Valak but remains unnamed in the tale. In another part of France, Maurice, also known as Frenchie, works at a boarding school. He has a close friendship with the schoolteacher Kate and her daughter, Sophie. Sophie is frequently targeted by the other girls at the school and Maurice often intervenes to protect her. The school is run by the strict Madame Laurent, a hard woman mourning her son Cedric's death. In a nearby town, a child making deliveries ends up alone and encounters a demonic presence. Valak appears and brutally attacks the child. Irene experiences a disturbing dream where she follows Maurice down an alley and he appears demonic and possessed, calling out for help. Irene is subsequently called to meet with Cardinal Conroy and other church elders. They inform her about the mysterious and horrifying deaths of Father Noiret and other church officials, suggesting that Valak has returned. Although initially hesitant, Irene agrees to investigate. She is accompanied by Deborah, who has her own motivations due to her mother's death in a fire caused by racists. At the school, Sophie is lured by the mean girls who had previously tormented her and invite her to play a game. They challenge her to face a mosaic window with a goat. They claim that looking away from the window will summon the devil. The sun is shining through the mosaic and makes the goat's eyes appear red. Sophie is locked in the room where she briefly glimpses a vision of Valak. Maurice rescues her before scolding the other girls and leaving Sophie with Kate. Irene and Deborah arrive in Tarascon and seek information from Jacques about Father Noiret's death when he simply took a rosary from him because he was afraid. Jacques then disappears into a crowd while other boys play in the street. The nuns go to the church and discover that Valak may have returned after marking Maurice during his attempt to save Irene. The investigation leads the nuns to Avignon, where they visit the Palais des Papes and speak to a librarian about Valak. They learn that Valak is after an artifact known as the Eyes, which once belonged to Saint Lucy, a martyr who survived being set on fire. The librarian believes that the victims are descendants of Saint Lucy and the eyes were last seen in a monastery which is now the boarding school. During a night on the streets, Irene encounters a supernatural manifestation resembling Valak, a newsstand where the magazines and newspapers all flip their pages by themselves. When Irene approaches it, the lights flicker on and off until Valak appears and attacks her, causing her to lose consciousness. Deborah finds her and provides medical assistance. Irene later confides in Deborah about her own memories of her mother before her death. Back at the school, strange occurrences surround Maurice as he also feels the demonic presence surrounding him. Meanwhile, Madame Laurent investigates the chapel after learning of Sophie's vision. She sees what appears to be Cedric running around, calling out to her. Valak lures her into a trap and kills her. Irene and Deborah return to the school where they locate the eyes. Valak causes chaos by possessing Frenchie and summoning a demon goat to attack the girls. Deborah and Kate look after the larger group of girls while Irene protects Sophie. The demon goat terrorizes the girls, taking the form of a deceased Madame Laurent. After trying to shut the goat down, it impales one of the mean girls through the shoulder before Deborah tries to help her. In the ensuing chaos, the school's bell tower collapses, miraculously without harm to the girls. Irene encounters Maurice, whose possession has now gone far enough for Valak to try and take over. With Deborah arriving to help Irene, they attempt to exorcise him using the eyes, leading to a fierce battle. Valak, now in its true demon nun form, appears to start killing Maurice and he stops moving. Irene begins to mourn her friend, but he comes back to life as Valak uses him to grab the eyes and emerge in his true demonic nun form. Irene's heritage as a descendant of Saint Lucy prevents Valak from setting her on fire. With Deborah's assistance, they pray fervently, saving Maurice and turning the wine in the room into the blood of Christ, causing Valak to be drenched and banished back to hell. Maurice recovers and reunites with Kate and Sophie. While Irene and Maurice are happy to see each other, Irene still looks at him with concern. During the credits, Ed and Lorraine Warren receive a call from Father Gordon about another haunting related to Valak.